Respected Chairperson, delegates, and the participants. Actually, this subject is very difficult for me because we are now in working place in the international standard, but in the aspect of registry, still we are lag behind. I go through the history of intervention in Bangladesh. I don't get any. What I have present, it is my history, what I have seen in Bangladesh. So thank you all. Cardiovascular intervention started in the last century, and angioplasty started in 70s. Here in Bangladesh, the journey of interventional cardiology started in late 90s. But after its emergence with initial plateau, the growth is surprising and unique, for which interventional cardiac care, training, and research of Bangladesh is now in the international standard. Day-to-day changes in education, research, cardiac care, necessary manpower development is going on in full swing in Bangladesh along with the globe. If we have looked for the past, what we have seen, NICBD, National Heart Foundation and Research Center, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujib Medical University, Combined Medical Hospital played a pivotal role in the early phase of interventional cardiology in Bangladesh. Later, different institutions came forward in this field to facilitate the service. Subsequently, government had started cardiovascular care services in medical colleges also. Government as well as private sector initiated different training programs in home and abroad to enhance the activities of interventional cardiology in Bangladesh. Now, the National Institute of Cardiovascular Disease, established in 1978. This is the pioneer and mother cardiac institute in Bangladesh for the development of manpower, cardiologist, cardiac surgeon, thoracic surgeon, and vascular surgeon. It also concerned to promote the cardiovascular medical education and to provide proper cardiac services in Bangladesh. In the initial phase of this institute, Japan has extended their helping hand in the development of this service. If we look for the NICBD in 1978, only the government specialized institute of this is the hospital in that time, started in the south wing of Sorawardi Hospital with 17 bedded, 1 CCU of 7 bed, 2 cath lab, 1 cardiac OT, 1 echocardiographic machine. First pacemaker implantation was successfully done in 1981, and first CABG was performed our honorable teacher, Professor Isar Khan, and late Professor Nabi Alam Khan in 1985. First pulmonary balloon valvuloplasty was done in 1987. Then, late Professor Abu Jafar and Professor Amanullah were the pioneer in the cardiac service in Bangladesh, and they are the one who start coronary angiogram and pacemaker implantation in NICBD in this country. Our beloved colleague from abroad, Dr. Hafizul Hassan and Dr. Wahidur Rahman, did the first successful PTCA in Bangladesh. Subsequently, in 1986, under the leadership of late Professor M.A. Jaman, former Professor cum Director of NICBD, Professor Emeritus Sufia Rahman and her team successfully done CAG and PCI in this country. Later, all other procedures were started successfully. PTMC was started in 1996, EP studies 2004, ICD implantation 2005, PDA device closure 2006, and 3D mapping for complex arrhythmia treatment started in February 2018. So if we have the look for this initiation and starting and founding of interventional cardiology, first of all, we salute our national professor, Brigadier Malik, because he is the first cardiologist of the United Pakistan. And he is the founder of National Institute of Cardiovascular Disease and also National Heart Foundation and Research Centers in this country. He is our father of cardiology. And he is also acts as an advisor of government of People Republic of Bangladesh. His vision gave birth to the modern cardiology and cardiac service in Bangladesh. Later, under his leadership, he asked us, he is make a team in NICBD, that is also in 1976, with the members, our Honorable Professor, late Professor Abu Jafar, he was the professor and director of NICBD, then late Professor Amanullah, Professor M. Jalaluddin, then Professor Nuzul Islam and Professor Mohimullah. This is the first team and pioneer team who started coronary angiogram and other procedure in Bangladesh. Later, after this, Professor M.A. Jaman, late Professor M.A. Jaman, he is also director and professor of NICBD. Professor Sufia Rahman, he is also director of NICBD. Professor Abdul Jahir, late Professor Abdul Hussain Khan, former professor and director of NICBD, and Professor Hasina Banu, they got training in the field of interventional cardiology and they are dedicated in this field for the development of interventional cardiology in Bangladesh. Then, new generation at that time, Professor G.M. Farooq, Professor Nur Hussain Manik, Professor Mahbub Ali, Professor Muhammad Farooq, Syed Azizul Haq, Khandakar Kamrul Islam, late Professor Syed Mustafa Kamal, and Professor Fazilatul Nisa Malik got training in invasive and interventional cardiology and dedicated themselves in NICBD for the development of interventional cardiology in Bangladesh. Later, Professor Dr. Mominuz Jaman, ATM Swarabud Jaman, Professor Fazlur Rahman, Mir Jamaluddin, AKM Raja, Abdul Kader Agant, Atahar Ali, they also got training in the field of interventional cardiology and devoted them in this field. Later, so many other students they came forward. Among them, Dr. Kaisar is here. He is after that generation. I'm sorry, I recollect the other's name. Only I remember Kaisar is the next generation. You know the National Institute and Research Center, National Heart Foundation. This is the second pioneer institute in Bangladesh. Established in 1979, and intervention started after few days of its establishment. In the initial period of this institute, Professor Sufia Rahman, Dr. Mominuz Jaman, and Professor Fazilatul Malik has started the interventional procedure in this institution. This institution, side by side of our mother institution, National Institute of Cardiovascular Disease, they have started the interventional procedure in Bangladesh first. Then, if we have a look further, actually IPGMR was started very early in this country as academic institution, but interventional procedure is started in 2004 by establishing the University Cardiac Center. Here, it is the only leading part, not only in the service, it is also concerned with the academics, that is course curriculum of whole of the country in cardiology and other subject. And by this university leads the cardiac community in home and abroad. This is the very concise form of the past of interventional cardiology in Bangladesh. I have said already it's very difficult because actually there is no written history, nothing else. It is I just collect scatteredly and taking some help for my friends. Just I give a impression what was the interventional cardiology in the past. If you look in the present situation, again, our mother institute, National Institute of Cardiovascular Disease, now, whatever in the past, it is also in the present in another shape. What is that? Second largest cardiac hospital in the Southeast Asia of this institute. You remember it. China, there is an institute that is the first. In this region, this is the second most important cardiac center. Well-equipped, all infrastructure nowadays, and also well-equipped with skilled manpower of this country. And this hospital is concerned also production of the manpower and performing latest procedure in the field of interventional cardiology. Other institutes also they are doing very well. University Cardiac Center, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujib Medical University, National Heart Foundation and Research Center, Ibrahim Cardiac Hospital and Research Institute, Square Hospital, Evercare Hospital, Labate Cardiac Hospital, United Hospital, Asghar Ali Hospital, and other medical college hospital, they are also involved in the present status of in the field of interventional cardiology. There is a few data that is still we got in this field. Number of cardiologists are about 1100. Number of cardiac surgeons, that is in the statistics in 2001, only 250. Number of hospitals having 65. Hospital with cardiovascular surgery facilities only 28. So number of cath lab at present situation 61 in 39 centers, and number of cardiac OT 52 in 25 centers. Now, it is one of the important aspects of primary PCI in the treatment in the field of interventional cardiology. It is very widely done in most of the institute of Bangladesh, but it is specially remain confined to the city area. Ongoing process, if we consider the interventional procedure as present time, every procedure, what has going on in the outside country, we are also capable to doing all types of procedure in our countries, from starting to CSG up to EP, device closure, everything is going on in this country. But in spite of that, still we are in some learning curve in the field of electrocardiology, root ablation, coronary imaging and physiology, cardiac MRI, L appendage closure, mitral clip implantation, leadless pacemaker, loop recorder. In this field, it is still in the learning curve. With this, there is some limitation in our country. We cannot ignore it, because you know the transport condition of our country is not so good. So it hampered the primary PCI in this country. Facilities mainly confined to the urban areas, and shortage of expert is still existing. Government has given insufficient budget in the health care. Non-practicing versus practicing issues still existing. Financial aspect of the patient is not so up to level, and there is no health insurance in our country still. And in addition, awareness among the general people is not up to mark. These are some limitation in the service of interventional cardiology in Bangladesh. In this aspect, to activate and to enhance, to flourish the interventional cardiology in Bangladesh, we have established Bangladesh Society of Cardiology, Interventional Cardiology in 2003. By this time, the renowned cardiologist and interventional cardiologist of Bangladesh, they got their number is 300, and this society is now the leader in the field of interventional cardiology, both in the education as well as services. What about future? If we think of future of interventional cardiology of Bangladesh, it needs development of more facilities of primary PCI up to rural area, advancement in the electrical and device therapy, improvement of valvular intervention, especially TAVI and mitral clip and others. We have to start hybrid procedure in Bangladesh, and proper development distribution of manpower from center to periphery, and government should give the more budget in this health sector, especially in the interventional cardiology, and we have to cope with the changes in the modern interventional cardiology nowadays. Dear audience, if I conclude, cardiovascular interventional services of Bangladesh is now we are in the international standard. Cardiovascular science is a changing subject in respect of new treatment strategy and instrumental development. Every moment, new treatment strategy and instrumental development makes a modern dimension in the field of interventional cardiology. So, our young cardiologists can follow, be prepared to cope with these changes. Thanks for the patient sharing. Thank you all.